And then they blow out the Houston Texans, and then in the 5th game, it takes an overtime pick 6 by Kirk Cousins to win that game to get them to 5-0. And then ever since then, they lost to New Orleans Saints at home. They barely beat Zach Mettenberger's led Tennessee Titans. And they are down 20 to Jameis Winston's Bucks. They lose that. And then they just lost to Blaine Gabbert 2 weeks ago and only gave Blaine Gabbert his 6th win of the year, of his career. So this Atlanta team is struggling. And I just believe that Matt Hasselbeck, with the weapons he has, and the confidence that I have in Rob Chudinski of putting a solid game together, I believe the Colts can win this game. Can Atlanta win this game? Sure. They have Matt Ryan, they have Freeman, they have Jones. They have enough offensive talent to say, hey, we can win this game. Especially if they're at home. But I'm going to take Indy just because I believe that, even with Hasselbeck, I think Matt Hasselbeck can guide this ship well enough for the next 3 games that they can get this victory and move on to go to 500 and continue to have a firm grasp of the AFC South, as lowly as it is. So that's going to take the Indianapolis Colts to beat the Atlanta Falcons. The Cowboys over the Dolphins. The Dallas Cowboys have lost 7 straight games. First time I think it's since 1989 that they've had a losing streak of 6 games this long. And again, it was another tough game. Basically, it was kind of the game that we all expected. A low scoring, not very effective offensively. But Jameis Winston was able to get them down the field with about a minute left and score the game-winning touchdown. And just when Cowboy fans needed Matt Hasselbeck the most, he choked and threw an interception and ended the game. But the biggest reason why I'm taking the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Miami Dolphins is one man. Tony Romo. Tony Romo is eligible to come back this week to play against Miami. And I believe with him coming back, and he's looked pretty good, in practices. He's been able to practice now for a couple weeks. With him coming back against the Dolphins, I believe that the Dallas Cowboys will win this game. Miami, they got incredibly lucky that Sam Bradford went down with his concussion and shoulder injury. But again, Sam Bradford gets hurt a lot, so, maybe I shouldn't be surprised. And then you also had that lucky bounce by Connor Barwin and another Eagle completely missing on the interception in the red zone. And Mark Sanchez, the ultimate accident waiting to happen, threw an interception in the red zone that basically cost the Eagles the game. So, Miami, kudos to the victory. That should give you guys some confidence. And it does mean that Dan Campbell's won 3 of his 5 games he's coached. So good for him. Kudos to him. He's definitely improved this Dolphins team around to a respectable team that maybe Campbell can keep the job. Again, sometimes you get dumb luck in football games. They get you victories. But I think with Tony Romo coming back, how motivated he is, and just realizing that the Dallas Cowboys are still only 2 games out of first place in the NFC East. 2 losses. I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to have a good run. Can they, go through the Redskins and Eagles? We'll see. Because they still got games against Carolina they have to play. They have a game against Green Bay and Lambeau, which will be tough. They have to play the Jets. They do have 2 games against the Redskins. So, this Cowboys schedule does not get that much easier, even with Romo on board. But I do believe with Tony Romo being eligible to play, and if him looking as good as he has been, I believe the Cowboys will win this game because of the return of Tony Romo. That's the biggest thing. So, again, that's why I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Miami Dolphins. Tampa Bay over Philly. Philadelphia. It's just another day in Philadelphia. Just the heartache and suffering that this city has gone through with their Eagles team has been incredibly disappointing over the years. And just, what another disappointing loss. yesterday. You get up to a massive 16-3 lead. And then what happens? Sam Bradford, just like I said a little bit earlier, a couple seconds ago, Sam Bradford went down with an injury. And you can say, why are you calling him Sam Bradford again? Last week you said he was Sam Bradford. You weren't going to, give him any slack. Well, you know what? He got hurt. And you know why I don't feel any sympathy for any of the Eagles fans? You should expect this. Sam Bradford usually gets hurt in an NFL season. He's been hurt basically in every single one. Except 2, which was his rookie year in 2012. Every other year he's had a broken ankle and 2 ACL tears. So this man is a brittle person. And now with, a concussion and a injury in his AC joint and his non-throwing shoulder, I don't know if he'll be able to play this week. And with just looking at how bad Mark Sanchez looked, I'm not putting any confidence in him that he can win this game against the Bucs, who, by the way, have looked a lot more efficient in their last 4 games. Jameis Winston has not turned the ball over in his last 4 or 5 starts. Incredibly impressive for him. He's definitely learning how to manage the ball. But I also just believe that Tampa Bay, they just have more talent around them, and they know how to use their system. DeMarco Murray once again ran for a grand total of 61 yards on 14 carries. You are paying this man about $8 million a year. He has to be giving you more production, and you have to be giving him more opportunities to get production than that. And I know the Eagles have won the last 3 games overall against the Bucs, but I believe that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with their momentum, and again, you can say I'm being a huge hypocrite because I was going to go against them for the rest of the year. I'm on this huge diatribe, but you know what happens? Things change. Teams go through ups and downs. Teams have injuries, and right now this Bucs team just has a lot more confidence. And if Mark Sanchez starts, which I believe he will, I just have no confidence that Mark Sanchez can beat these Buccaneers. It should be a competitive game because I think Sanchez, he does have his moments, but with Doug Martin and James and the receiving core that Tampa has, I don't think Byron Maxwell, can shut down Mike Evans effectively enough that he can have himself a day. And also just the Bucs have been playing better football than what the Eagles have been over the last few weeks. So that's what I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to beat the Philadelphia Eagles. The Jets over the Texans. This is Ryan Fitzpatrick's return to Houston. First time since he's been traded last year. I'm going to take the Jets here just because I don't trust Houston. Brian Hoyer. Houston's defense, for as good as it's been, it's about 18th in total yards, 20th in sacks. So this defense that has so much talent on it is not producing. And with the lack of offense they have, that's bad. This Jets secondary, you got Revis and Cromartie. Or Cromartie didn't play. Hopefully he plays this week against the Texans. That'd be huge. I think they have enough talent that Revis could probably cover Hopkins by himself. And then you have Screen or Gilchrist on whoever they have second, A. Washington. That's about an equivalent matchup, so you got a good matchup there. And Tyrod Taylor and Brian Hoyer are 2 different quarterbacks. Where Tyrod's a mobile guy that can use his feet, Brian's not. Brian's not a runner, he's a pure pocket guy. He's not really effective in the pocket. And also, I just look at the Jets and say this. LaShawn McCoy and Carlos Williams, and kudos to Carlos Williams, by the way, second player in NFL history with touchdowns scored in his first 6 games. Job well done, sir. But I look at the Jets and say, you're not facing LaShawn McCoy, you're facing Alfred Blue and Chris Polk, whoever they have in that committee for Houston. You're going to be able to shut down that running game. And with that, there's going to be so much of a lack of offense in Houston that Ryan Fitzpatrick, knowing this team the way he does, just being with this team last year, he should be able to beat up this team pretty convincingly. In my opinion. So, that's why I'm going to take the Jets to beat the Texans. The Seahawks over the Niners. Seattle lost its fourth home game in the Russell Wilson era, and this is the first team in the Wilson era to beat them twice in Seattle. And Master Chief Hill, one of the NFL YouTube prognosticators, shout out to him. What would you like to say, sir, about all the comments I made and all the statistics I put out about the Seattle Seahawks? Again, and I will mention them to you. This is a Seattle team that, even though their defense and everybody's been trying to hype them up, they're not as good as everybody thinks they are. In the games that they have played against 500 teams or worse, they are 4-0. They have not given up in offensive touchdown, and they average 6.3 points per game. But going into this week, their record was 6-26. Going up against teams that are 500 or better, they were 26-6. They played 4 teams that are 26-6. They'd averaged 28.8 points per game. And if you want to say Cam Chancellor didn't play, they averaged 27 points a game. They giving up 27 points a game with Cam Chancellor being on the field. And Seattle last night gave up their season high in points with 39 points. And also, like I was telling everybody, also the King Poetic, Carson Palmer did not have that great of a game. He had 3 turnovers himself. And the Cardinals still won the game. So, to me, the Seattle team, they're up and down, but this week they're playing a pretender. San Francisco, Blaine Gabbert's getting a second straight start, which I guess, he does deserve since he did win. But this is San Francisco. This is not the Niners of the Jim Harbaugh era. This is Tom Sula. And they should be able to do exactly what they did the last time they played San Francisco, which just a few weeks ago in San Francisco. They should be able to play the same way. So, Seattle, again, you're going to get 5 wins, and you'll be 500, and I think you can make a wild card spot. But you shouldn't be that. Seahawks fans or everybody should not be going, oh my God, the Seahawks are back. They're 5-5. They're gonna make it in the. No, they're not. They have just proven to you that they can beat the scrubs. They're not a scrub team, but this year they are not a contending team because they can't beat any of a 500 or better contending team. They just have proven that. So, again, Seattle won this game, but I'm not going to take any sauce in this victory. And actually, you know what? If Big Ben's fully healthy, I will kind of say this right now, I am leaning towards taking Pittsburgh to beat Seattle next weekend. So, that's I'm going to take the Seahawks to beat the Niners. KC over San Diego. Kansas City has won 3 straight games. Incredibly impressive. In this 3-game winning streak, Alex Smith has completed about 63% of his passes. He's thrown 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. Pretty good. And I look at this Chief team. They got 5 interceptions on Manning and Osweiler combined. They got 2 on Stafford, so we've had they've had 9 interceptions in their last 3 games. That's an incredible defense. And you're starting to see this Chief team that we all thought we would see, throughout the whole year. Jadarick West has been doing very solid. And this team has a lot of confidence in them. And they're playing a San Diego team that is just like, it's Ravens West. This is a team that, look, can San Diego put up a fight against Kansas City? Absolutely. They have a young secondary that's been hampered by injuries for most of the year. And I don't believe Phillip Rivers will throw 5 interceptions against this defense. And Rivers can put up yards and Rivers can put up points. However, they have a very lack of running game, and KC's been really good at stopping the run this year overall. And I just believe with KC's momentum and San Diego's spot, he's going to San Diego could win, but they're going to do something either offensively or defensively to screw it up. So, and also the Chargers have lost 5 straight on top of that. So, that's why I'm going to take Kansas City to beat the Chargers. The last 2 games, the game of the week, the Cincinnati Bengals going to the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals, I hope everybody will listen to this, are a legitimate Super Bowl contending team. Nobody really wanted to believe in the Cardinals, but I have for the last 3 years because I believe in Bruce Arians and I believe in what he has done to this team. And this is a big test for them. This is the undefeated Bengals, or possibly undefeated, or possibly 8-1 Bengals if they lose to Houston. But I don't see that happening. But I look at these 2 teams and basically look at the same team, except maybe in different ways. You have the prime Dalton and the seasoned Palmer. You have 2 running games that are solid, but definitely not, I guess, power-driven by their running game. You have 2 of the top 5 offensive yards per game. You have 2 of the top 5 offensive yards per game and points per game. And you have 2 solid defenses. I just think the one key stat, and this is one of my favorite stats I looked up this week, in the history of this rivalry, the Arizona Cardinals franchise, even dating back to when they were in St. Louis or Phoenix, the Arizona Cardinals have never lost a home game to the Cincinnati Bengals. Ever. They've never lost one. And I just think with that momentum and with as much talent as they have and with as many weapons as they have healthy, even though best of luck to Mikey Potty staying healthy. I hope he can stay healthy and they get back soon. I believe the Arizona Cardinals on the Sunday night stage once again will make another huge statement saying, we are the Arizona Cardinals and we deserve to be in contention for the best team in the National Football League. So, again, it should be a great game. Would I be surprised Cincinnati wins this game? Absolutely not. But with this game, with all the hype around it and with all the momentum Arizona has, with that home field advantage and that stat I told you guys about, saying that Arizona has, in their franchise history, has never lost a home game to Cincinnati, I'm going to take that with me to my bank and just trust that one more time and get the Cardinals their 8th win of the season, go to 8-2. Very impressive. Alright, in the Monday night game, Buffalo at New England. New England's 46-4 in their last 50 home games. They've been incredible. Brady's been having another, incredible year. All the injuries he's had, he didn't have Collins or Ballmer. Julian Edelman broke his leg, and he still won the game. He didn't have Dion Lewis. And also, he just loves to beat Buffalo. 24-3 all time against the Buffalo Bills. And he's only had 1 loss, I think, as a Patriot. I think 1 loss in New England. And I remember, week 2 when Rex played him, he threw for over 460 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. It was an incredible offensive display. Do I think he'll be able to put up that many points now? No, I think they've suffered too many injuries to expect that. But just with how Buffalo's been playing, I know they've been on a huge high, and I know the Patriots are reeling with injuries. The Patriots have enough talent offensively, and just enough talent with Tom Brady, that I believe they can beat this Buffalo team, who may be falling into a trap, especially after having that huge win over the Jets in Rex Ryan's return to the Meadowlands. So, kudos to him. So those are my thoughts and picks for all the games this week. Like, comment, rate, subscribe, and please check out the NFL YouTube Prognosticators page. Shoutouts to Gio Knows, Andrew Warren, Edwin Lerner, Billy B, Bridgewater's Finest, Logan Schiff, Master Chief Hill, AdjustMyPicks.com, King Poetic, Gino Biscotti. I don't know if I said that right, buddy, but it's Italian, and that was a horrible Italian accent there. Try. Gino Biscotti, Philadelphia. Trying to think of anybody else here. The Mash Tweeter, check out his picks, he's really good. And Oren Gremberg. I said Gremberg, and you'll appreciate that. Oren Gremberg, Gavin O'Connor, and all those other guys out there. Please check them out. They are great. Other prognosticators like myself to pick games. And that's it. So good luck to all players, all coaches, all teams, all fantasy players, and all fellow YouTube prognosticators. And until next week, this is Matt the Fanatic signing off. Till next time, so long.